Right. That was so funny for me. I literally just like stopped and hit record again. Because I'm recording this straight after I did another video. But that's because it's easier for me to edit, to split this into two vlogs, two videos, sorry. Yeah, this is just gonna be me ranting about something that's, do you mind? About something that I was thinking about recently. What that thing is, I actually can't remember. I have it written down, so I am going to check. So I'll be back. There's so many things that I want to talk about, but we're going to start with one. And that is something that I have been, if you don't know, if you haven't watched the other video, I am currently drawing on my shoes because I'm going to paint them. This is the first one that I did in the last video. Basically the same thing but reverse. On the other one, on this one, I have the rose in the foreground, sunflower in the background. This one I'm doing the reverse and doing sunflower, foreground, rose in the background. But also in the last video I was on about football quite a bit because football is my passion. I was watching a match there earlier, but I was going to score for the other match. Fuck. There's a match I really wanted to watch. I'm watching the Olympics, by the way. And I wanted to watch the fucking women's USA versus Australia match. Because that was going to be, that's like one of the fucking games of the tournament. And they weren't fucking showing it. They were showing Germany and Zambia for some reason. Women's Olympics. Was the score. Yeah. Oh, USA won 2-1. Who scored? Give me the details. Give me the fucking details. Live. Where are we? Just tell me who scored. Corbin Albert. So of course she fucking scored. Fuck it, I'll find this some other time. Don't fucking flop. Anyways, football. I'm talking about like soccer football, by the way, for all the I need me image. I'm talking about like soccer football, not American football, not Gaelic football, just football. Where's me fucking? I get rid of me image. I'm some age, aren't I? There we go. Yeah, so football for me was, I don't actually know where I got my interest from. I was gonna say it was boring to me. It must have been. Because no one in my family likes football. And not even me dad. He liked Gaelic football, but even still, like, he wouldn't watch it. He wouldn't watch either football. He wouldn't really talk about either football. He was very much just like a casual fan who liked hearing the results. But that was kind of it. I think he might listen to like radio coverage sometimes, but I don't think he was the type of person who could purposely seek out the radio playback. I think it was just like, if it's on, he'll listen to it. So I don't actually know where I got my interest from. It's also like, again, my mom isn't into it at all. She fucking hates it with a passion. My sibling, there's fucking children in the garden. My sibling, they were horse mad, nothing to do with football. So I don't actually know where my interest for football came from. My only guess would be that my childhood best friend was a boy who was very much into football, and a lot of my friends growing up as a kid were boys, up until like age 10, I'd say. I was pretty much exclusively friends with boys, but my childhood best friend, who was also my mum's close friend, his mum was friends with my mum, and then his dad was friends with my dad. So like we see each other quite often, and also my sibling was friends with his sister. I don't actually know how often we see each other because I remember nothing from that period in my life, but that's the only thing I can think of that like actually caused me to be that passionate about it. Because, you know, like growing up I was interested in a lot of sports. You know, my dad, part of me feels like both my parents wanted boys. But yeah, like my dad was always getting us into sports, but like it was never just one particular sport. Yeah, so I don't actually know where that came from. But either way, as far back as I can remember, my whole life was just football, football, football. And it was bordering an obsession. I'm talking like, I had a wall in my room. How big is it? It's probably the size of that back wall there. The entire thing covered in football posters. I had binders and binders full of Match Attacks. Probably about 50 footballs in the garden at one time. YouTube, literally all I watched was the Sidemen back when they did FIFA Let's Plays, playthroughs, or whatever the fuck you call it, pack openings. Chris MD, F2 Freestylers. Who else did I watch? They're sort of main ones back then. And you know, the only two video games that I played were like FIFA and Minecraft. At break time, literally my entire day was just based around football. I never actually watched it. I never liked watching it until recently. But I play each day for maybe like, I'm gonna go and say 4 hours. I was thinking about this earlier. And no joke, it was actually about 4 hours a day from ages probably like 6 to 12. I'd wake up early before school to play for an hour. I play football at the bus stop. I play football during school, during break. Then when I got home, I had friends that lived in my road and I play with them for an hour or two. And then when they all had to go home, I would play in the garden, or I play it on the road, or I play it with dad. But like literally pretty much any spare minute that I had was something to do with football. If I wasn't playing it, I was watching FIFA videos. If I wasn't watching FIFA videos, I was going out buying Match Attacks and trading Match Attacks and fucking memorising my Match Attacks. Reading football magazines and saving up money for a new jersey or whatever. It was all consuming, literally. You know, I did play a lot of other sports. Like a lot of other sports. What did I do? I did hockey for 8 years. I did basketball I played for a club for 2 years, but I played in school as well for about 5 years. I did tennis for about 2 years. I did swimming for 5 years. I did Gaelic for 2 or 3 years. Is that it? I think that's it. But football was like the sport. Like always has been, always will be seemingly, because I'm still obsessed with it. I did kind of lose it for a bit. I will get back to that. Have I talked about this? I don't care if I've talked about this before. It's still bothering me. Sorry for saying all the time. I'm processing because I don't have a script. If I'm fiddling down here, I'm looking at images to draw. It feels weird doing this. Sorry, sideground for a minute. I just caught myself there talking, because YouTube is something I've wanted to do for so long, and it feels kind of weird still actually doing it. You know, it makes me happy. It makes me happy that I'm doing it. But anyways, what you do? No, you're too detailed. But yeah, football was always the sport for me. But it was the only sport that I never actually played with a club for. That's not entirely true. Well, it is kind of true. Basically, the odd time my dad will convince me to go and play for a club or do like a trial for a club. So I go and do the trial for the hour, but literally that would be it. I would not go back, and that is because I had really bad anxiety. Sorry for talking really slow. I am trying to find a good image of a rose, and there's this fucking none that I like. You know what you'll do? Yeah, so I was saying, yeah, I go on these trials, and I always make up excuses for why I didn't want to go back. I think part of me, see, I don't even know if it was an excuse at the time, because I didn't understand anxiety back then. I didn't know why I felt such hesitation and such fear, and why I feel like physically sick and dizzy, and like my whole body was clenched and I just could not think clearly. I didn't understand that was anxiety. I just knew that it felt really bad and I didn't want to feel it again. And so I always make up these excuses as to why I didn't want to join the club. Be like, oh, they're not an all-girls team, I don't want to play for an all-girls team. Or like, oh, it's on they train on a Tuesday, and you know, I already do this on a Tuesday, I don't want to be doing too much on a Tuesday. Or it'll be like, you know, they have matches on a Sunday and I have hockey on a Sunday, and they all end up clashing. Whatever the fuck. So even though football was like my one true passion, and the one thing I wanted to be when I was older was a footballer. You know, I wanted to be a lot of things, but everything else that I wanted to be was just a backup for if I didn't want to be a footballer. For if I didn't get to be a footballer, sorry. You know, like I want to be interior designer, architects, artists, whatever the fuck, but football was always top of the list. You know, everything else was underneath that. But yeah, I never played for a club, which I don't really know how I expected that to work. But also at the time I didn't even know that women's football was like an actual thing I could do. I think anyone sort of my age or older can relate to that. You know, women's football just wasn't like a career option back then. I always thought that I was going to be playing with the men in the Premier League, and you know, playing for the men's international team and all that. So yeah, it was one sport that I ever played, and you know, over the years, you know, I still try out for the odd club. I played for my primary school for a few years, but you see, I didn't mind that because I knew everyone there, and we only ever played one match, so that was alright. But yeah, once I got to secondary school, I just sort of gave up on it. You know, I was just like, that's it. That's, you know, we didn't have a football team. We didn't have a junior football team, sorry, we had a senior football team. I remember when I got to TY, which is the start of the senior end of the school, there was a football team. I remember I got asked specifically, to be honest, because people knew that I was good at football, and I was just like, nah, sorry, because I was still so fucking anxious about it. And you know, I was thinking about this, why did I play all these other sports but I never play football, because the one sport I actually wanted to play? And you know, I came up with a few ideas, I think one of the reasons was definitely that for all the other sports that I played, I always knew at least one person on the team. You know, they were in my school or whatever. You know, swimming, my sibling was in the same, not the same group as me, but they had training at the same time as me. With Gaelic, I knew a few girls from my school. With tennis, again, I knew a few from my school. Hockey, a few from my school. Basketball, a few from my school. But with football, you know, none of the girls in my school were interested in football like that. You know, they all did like it and they all did play actually, which, you know, looking back, I didn't actually realise how cool that was, because it very much made me feel included, because I went to a very small school and I was the only tomboy in my class and like one of maybe like 2 or 3 tomboys in the school. But it did make me feel very included at the other girls, like football as well. But yeah, they were never into it like that. You know, none of them played for a club. And, you know, I think the main reason I never joined a club was because I was just scared of being bad at it. Which is something that I still struggle with greatly today. If you didn't watch my last video, I probably will make a few references to it because I have just been talking about it for the last hour. So if there's bits that aren't making sense, I apologise. If you want to go and watch the last video, you can get my clear a few things up for you. But, you know, recently I've been taking on a lot of new projects. You know, a lot of things that I've wanted to do for a while, but just had such bad anxiety around it that I never actually did it. And it's still something that I find myself struggling with. I'm trying to get into music production / creation at the moment. And then also even with YouTube and just social media as a whole. I wanted to be a YouTuber since I was about 8. So that was 2012. I'm 20 now, so that's 12 years that I've wanted to do it, but just never had the confidence to do it. And also with riding my motorbike, I have a motorbike permit. It's something that I've wanted to do since I was 4. But again, I have a lot of anxiety around this, and you know, I have a lot of anxiety around a lot of things. But it's only really been recently that I've been trying to reflect on it and see what's causing it. And one of the big things I discovered was, I guess it's like performance anxiety. It's the fear of being bad at something. As a kid, I'm going to presume this is where it came from. So I've had anxiety as long as I can remember. We'll start there. Literally, I remember my 4th birthday, and that is the earliest thing I can remember. I have a few patches of memories from around that era. You know, some of them could have been from when I was 3, some of them from when I was 4. I'm not quite sure the timeline. But even back then, I still remember having really bad anxiety about everything. You know, meeting new people, you know, going to school, going to clubs, going on like public transport, people coming over to the house, going to parties, going on play dates. Just anxiety around everything. And that continued over the years because I was a kid, I didn't know what caused this, I didn't know what was going on, and the adults around me either didn't cop it or they just didn't care enough to get me help. But either way, it just spiraled and went untreated for my entire life, pretty much. It's only recently that I've been trying to help myself, because therapists that I've gone to have not helped in the slightest. I wish I had a script for this. I did have a lot of points I wanted to make. I feel like I'm not making them very well, and that I'm losing the run of myself. But yeah, had anxiety since I was a very young child. Where do I go with this now? Yeah, so that continued on throughout my entire teenage years, my entire young adult years, and it was only in January, really, basically starting November of last year. Fuck off with your low power. Starting of January of November of last year, sorry. My mental health just really took a nosedive, and that led to me quitting my job and basically being housebound for a while. But along the way, I started going back to things that I sort of lost touch with when I was like all throughout my life, because a lot of my recent mental health issues have been derived from problems arising from untreated mental health issues from when I was younger. So a lot of things like regret and, saying the wrong things, doing the wrong things, not dealing with things the way they should have been dealt with, ignoring a lot of things, missing out on a lot of things. Just untreated mental health issues that have only gotten worse over the years and flare up every now and then. I can't fucking cope when they flare up. But this one really got to me because I just got into this place where I felt so fucking lost and hopeless. And I just felt like there was nothing for me, and I wasted my entire life. And one thing that I could not get over was this lost potential that I had, mainly in relation to football, because I had a lot of fucking talent. Like, I know that sounds very cocky of me, but I did. Considering I'd never played for a club, and considering that I was fairly overweight, to say the least, as a chubby child, I did a lot of emotional eating back then, still do, but yeah, considering all the factors that were at play, I was really good, and I had a lot of potential, and so many people told me this. And when what they're telling you that you're really good at is your dream job, or just like your dream as a whole, I didn't even think of it as a job. It's just what I wanted to be. I just wanted to be a footballer. That was all I ever wanted to be. And when people are telling you that you're good enough to actually do it, but then your mental health, or just health in general, is the thing that stops you from getting there, that's a very hard pill to swallow, because you didn't even get a chance. Like, I was a child. I did not choose to be mentally ill. I did not wish this on myself. I didn't even realise what was happening. I didn't even realise I was sick. And for so long, I beat myself up about it. I blamed myself first. And, you know, sometimes I still do, because I hate to admit it, but I'm still personally in the mindset that my mental health could have been helped back then. You know, when I was 8, you know, I should have known better. I should have persevered, and if I cared more, or if I was more dedicated, I would have done it. And it's such a shit mindset to be in, because when it's like locked inside you, and I didn't really grow up in an environment that was very mental health positive. You know, mental health was very much hush-hush in my family. So I had nothing really to support myself, to be able to be like, hold on, that's not right. Everything around me was just almost pointing the finger at me, being like, this is your fault, you did this to yourself. And so I had this bit of a, I guess, almost relapse in depression back in November. I left work start of January this year. I went back to football because football was, at first, it was something that just made me happy, and I sort of refound my love for it last summer because the Women's World Cup was on, and one of my co-workers where I used to work, she was really into football as well, and she used to play for Ireland as underage, which fucking infuriated me, but I won't get into that. I was like, that should have been me. You know, I watched the Women's World Cup, and, you know, Ireland's were in it for the first time ever, and since then I've sort of been hooked on the whole football thing, in particular women's football, because I never thought that would be possible, that women's football would grow to that size. I didn't even know that it would be a thing. It wasn't something that ever entered my head, that the women would have their own league, and they have their own international team, and they'd have their own World Cup, and, you know, there would be women's teams for these big clubs like Arsenal and Barcelona and all that I always just associated with men's football. Well, because I didn't even know that women's football was even a thing. And, you know, seeing that as a reality, it was so fucking bittersweet, because a part of me was so proud that it gotten that far, and that there are so many women out there who could actually live that dream that I had. But then also at the same time, it was like, that could have been me, which is still hard to deal with, and it's still something I'm very much dealing with, and even just saying it out loud, it's something that's like, I'm like, yeah, it could have been you, you know. And I don't like to dwell on it too much, even though I do dwell on it far too much. I'm not very good at letting things go. It's something I discovered. You know, there's another thing that I want to talk about, which I'm not going to do here, because that'll take me another fucking year to talk about. Because I just can't let things go for the life of me as much as I'd like to. I just can't. There's me. Yo, by the way, I'm gonna leave that for now. Yeah, I'm just not good at letting things go. And I still get hung up on, hold on, you know, I still find myself getting hung up on it, and, you know, it doesn't help that, like, I am so into football, because, you know, sometimes I watch it and I'm completely fine, but other times it just hits me. It's like, that could have been you. You know, like, that's, like, I wish that was me. And, you know, then also, there was this girl who went to the same secondary school that I did, and she was the year below me, I think, maybe 2 years below. I think she was the year below me. And then her sister was in my year, and she's now a professional footballer. She plays for Man City, and, you know, she grew up a few minutes away from where I lived, back in Dublin, and, you know, she played for the teams that I did trials for, and, you know, just seeing her do all that, you know, for obviously happy for her, but also just seeing her literally grow up in the same environment I did, and having her go on to be so successful, that was such a slap in the face for me. You know, and the fact she's like 1 year younger than me, you know, like, that was such a slap in the face, because all that was going through my head was that should have been you, you let it slip, you know, it's your fault that you're not there, you know, that could have been you. So I remember when I quit my job back in January. I quit my job back in January. I was like, alright, we're gonna get back into football. Partially because I just like it, and I needed something to fill my time, and also during this depressive period it really started back in September. It got bad in November, but for about 4 months straight, roughly, I did like no exercise, and I just binge ate every single night, and I just wanted to get back into exercise. Partially disordered, because part of me hated what I've become, because I gained a fair bit of weight at that time, but also just exercise has always helped me in a lot of ways, so many ways, and I just wanted to get back into a form that I actually really liked, because I always used exercise as a punishment, and I'd always do exercises that I never really liked. You know, like, I do like rolling cardio sessions on the bike, or running, or, you know, like 2-hour weightlifting sessions. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I do actually like all of them, but again, in moderation, not like 2 hours in the gym each day, not, I don't know, like running up and down in a straight line for an hour. And so I decided to get back into football, but also part of this was because I couldn't let go of this football dream that I had. You know, part of me was still deluded that I could still make it, and that if I worked hard enough, you know, you know, if I had from January until September, if I worked that entire time until I started college, then, you know, I could play for the team in college, and then that way I might be able to get scouts, and then I'd be able to play for the League of Ireland, and then from there I might get scouts and go and play over in England. And I just could not let this go, that even though I'd never played for a club in my life, even though I hadn't played football in about 6 years at that point, you know, I was just like, this is something that I'm going to do. It's something that I need to do, you know, this is what you're meant to do. We need to correct what you let happen. So, you know, I did for a while. I did up until about 2 months ago when I just kept getting injured. Because at that stage I was doing a cardio session every morning, then I was doing football for an hour, and then I was doing weights for an hour after that, and in between I was pacing all the time. I was going through the whole motions of bulimia. I talked about it before, I had bulimia. It's got the throwing up type. It is the over exercising and restricting your intake type. But basically what would happen is that also I would never sleep either, but also I wasn't eating correctly at the correct times. I wasn't eating the right things, I wasn't recovering, and it got to the point where within about 3 weeks I had chopped the nerve in my back, I had fucked up both my knees, and also I fucked up both my feet, also my ankle, and then also constantly my wrists and my shoulders and my elbows were at me. And it just got to a point where I couldn't walk, but yet I still try playing. And it also got to a point where I just did not have the energy to get out of bed. And you know, I still did get out of bed, because as bad as my depression is, my anxiety is 10 times worse. And my anxiety, again, performance anxiety, even if no one sees it, I feel I still have it. I have this like deeply rooted perfectionism and self-analytical trait where I have to be perfect at everything I do, and I need to do everything at all of the time, and I need to do it without fail every single day of the week, and no give ups, no let ups. And I do that until I burn out and I get really depressed again, and then I don't move for about 5 months and then repeat. Stop with the fucking M's. So I did that, and part of me still feels like part of me still is holding on to that dream that by some miracle I could still be a footballer. I know it's not going to happen, especially not with my current mental health. You know, maybe if I got my bulimia and my anxiety and my depression under control, I might be able to get to like League of Ireland or something. But yeah, I haven't learned how to let dreams die. I haven't learned how to be that tough with myself. Is that an Irish flag? I'm too fucking blind to see. I think that's an Irish flag. Is it? Is it Irish or Italian? They look the same from this distance. Oh, I can still kind of see it. I put you. I hold you. This is not the best angle, but I'm sick of sitting upright. Yeah, I don't know. How do you let a dream die that you've had since you were 4? Since you were born, pretty much. Do you ever actually let it go? Because the amount of people that I know who still harp on about... See, I feel like that's... Oh shit, I'm having the mic again. I'm not good at this YouTube thing. You know, you always hear about these... like parents who are forcing their dreams onto their children. You know, like these like stage moms and dancing, or you know, like the dads who force their kids to play American football 10 days a week when they're 4. Or you know, like I know with my own mum, she always goes on about when she was younger, and You know, like how she used to be really good at tennis and hockey, and how she was really good at like hairdressing and interior design, and how they were the things she always wanted to do. And I feel like that's part of the whole you know, like high school golden era thing. You know, like your golden age. What's the official term for it? Your golden years, your glory years. You know, basically the mindset that when you're sort of 16 to maybe 19, they're meant to be like the best years of your life. I wonder if that's linked to us. Because back then, you know, you still have those dreams were still possible. And you still had some naivety on your side, and time hadn't caught up with you yet, and you know, you're just blind to the future. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I can't even see me. Yeah, do dreams ever die? Ooh, this is gonna be a big shit because I'm going all the way around with that camera. Do dreams ever die? Is it just gonna be something that I have to live with, where I'm always gonna be better? That I never got to be a footballer. Because it go away when... Will it go away if I like finish college and get a decent job, or... You know, it has kind of gone away the more that I have found passion in other things, and the more that I find casual enjoyment in football. I found that because I've been forced to stop, when I was forced to stop because I couldn't fucking move, 2 months ago, I really got into music. And, you know, I've always been into music. Well, yeah, I always have been into music, but I mean, like, since January, another thing that I picked up was music, because, again, music was all... Oh, I didn't even get on to the point I was trying to make. Jesus, I had one point to make, and that was... Well, I did want to make the point of dreams dying, but one of the points I wanted to make was how I always get the most anxiety over things that I'm most passionate about. And so, like, what I was saying about how football was always one sport that I never played, even though I was the most passionate about it, and I played like 50 million other sports but never football. That was because I cared so much about it that I didn't want to be bad at it, so I just... You know, if I never played, I'd never be bad at it. And it was the same with music. I've had a guitar since I was 12. And like I said, I wanted to play guitar since I was 4. And... Well, actually, initially I wanted to play drums. My parents wouldn't allow me to get drums. So I went with guitar, so I wanted to play guitar anyway. But I had it hung up in my room until... Well, I first started messing with it at 16. But what I do is that I play it for a week and then I wouldn't touch it for a month because I was bad at it. And I was like, right, I'm just never going to get better at it. Then like a month later, I'd be like, okay, maybe now I'm good at it. Is that an Irish flag? I swear that's an Irish flag. Or is it a French flag? Jesus, I'm fucking blind. What was I on about? Who knows? Who knows what I was on about? Let's see, let's retrace. Football. Football. That's what this video was about, wasn't it? Why is there a crocodile? Play big, Lacoste. Oh, what time is it? Oh shit, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, I need to fucking remember what I was on about so I can finish this fucking video. Being scared of the things that I like doing, that's what it was. I play my guitar for a week, put it away for a month, play for a week, put it away for a month. And I always put it away because, well, I didn't actually play it for 4 years because, again, I was just scared of being bad at it, and then I realised I was bad at it. So I never actually put any time into it. And then if you look at, like, a lot of the other things, you know, like things like YouTube, I always wanted to do that, but I was scared I was going to be bad at it, so I never did. With my motorbike, scared I'm going to be bad at it, so I never do it. And, you know, that's what really made me avoid playing football. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. When I was forced to stop playing for a while, I really got into music. But now I'm sort of experiencing the same thing with it, but with music, where, like, I'm scared to start making my own stuff, which is something that I've always wanted to do, but I'm scared it's going to be bad. And then I'm scared of riding my motorbike in case I'm bad. And I just have all these dreams that I'm scared are going to stay as dreams because of my anxiety. And I'm scared that in the future I'm going to end up feeling how I do about a lot of things the same way I'd feel about the football, except I'm going to feel that way still about the football, but then also about 50 other things. So I'm really trying to not let that happen. I am really fucking trying. That is an Irish flag. Go on, Aoife. Go on, you good thing. Yeah, I'm going to try and not let that happen. No, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to let it happen. It's not on. I do hope that I really get over this football thing because I don't want to have that bitterness watching something that I really enjoy, and I don't want it to be soiled, and I don't want to hold it against myself either. Something that I had no control over. And something that happens to a lot of people because, you know, there's a lot of kids out there who don't get to follow their dreams for various reasons. Nearly everyone doesn't get to follow their dreams for various reasons. It's very frustrating when you could have potentially had the talent, but I just will never know because I never really had the chance, you know? And, like, I did have good dedication. Like, as I said, I played for fucking 6 hours a day nearly. I had this illness that I didn't know about and that I blame myself for. And just unfortunate circumstance. Maybe I can resurrect myself. Resurrect? Is that the right word? Maybe I can revitalize the joy in me if I manage to play for a team when I go to college. I think that's what I'll do. At least give it a lash, like, at least find people who are into it in the same way I'm into it. That would be nice. That would be nice. Bye.